Hi, welcome to the Industry Astrology Full Moon Forecast for December 29th, 2020, the last full moon of the year. The moon is waxing, the energy is increasing, almost full now. How are you feeling? On December 29th at 7:28 p.m. Pacific time, the moon will reach its peak fullness and then begin to wane again. Exhilarating, intense, confused, hard to relax, excited. This is the energy of the full moon, and this particular full moon is coming at a bridge point between the end of 2020 and the beginning of 2021. 2021 has a lot of transformative lineups, and there are also some very powerful eclipses coming up as well in 2021. I decided to offer a webinar class for you to come. It's a live class. That means I'm going to be live talking to you guys, and it will include horoscopes for all 12 Vedic signs. And if you don't know your Vedic sign, you can calculate it on my website. There will be a link provided for you, just for you, when you register. And also, if you can't make it for the class, that's okay too. You just register and you will receive a recording of the class that will be good for the entire year of 2021. So if you'd like to sign up for that, I will leave a link below in the description window. Now, this full moon coming up, like I said, is setting a tone, and it is an excellent time to be making resolutions and commitments, envisioning the year to come. So, especially the hours leading up to the full moon, this is a time we can be really looking within and trying to get in touch with our true feelings about situations and our true vision, right, of what we want to call in. The full moon is in the area of the sky called Ardra nakshatra. Ardra is a star that is very intense. It's a exhilarating energy, that's for sure. This Ardra nakshatra is called the star of storms. It's symbolized by a teardrop, and it has to do with our attachments, our deepest feelings, our inner children, our feelings of belonging or not belonging in certain settings or in the world at large. So this Ardra full moon is a time for inner processing in many ways, but it's also in very outward energy. So do be aware that people might be a little more emotional or passionate at this time as well. Or you might be also feeling like you just, there's something about needing to clear it out. It's a great time to be purifying, releasing. The light of this full moon actually purifies the atmosphere in a way, just like a storm cleans the air. This full moon is connected to Lord Shiva in the form of Rudra, the destroyer, who is connected to the power of storms. Very fierce, powerful form of Lord Shiva. So there's a lot of depth to this full moon. It's a tense and kind of intense energy, but deep feeling. And the full moon is also happening around this exact alignment of Venus, the goddess of love and relationships and abundance and art. She's going to be aligned up exactly on Ketu, the shadow of the eclipse, or the tail of the snake that causes eclipses. Ketu in particular has to do with past lives, fated situations that don't seem to be in our control. So Venus is crossing over this shadow snake tail. Could symbolize important meetings or sort of destined situations. There's, a sort of magnified power of Venus here. There could be a sort of spiritual energy. This could be very good for musicians, especially ones who work from the heart, kind of like a spontaneous expressions. But all in all, this Venus-Ketu conjunction on the full moon seems to symbolize to me that there's a lot of perhaps transformation in relationships coming up ahead, transformation in how we relate to abundance and prosperity. And also, it could be also creative expression, because this time, 2020, has not been an easy year. Obviously, with the type of alignments that we had, especially this great conjunction climaxing here at the end, that there's going to have repercussions for a long time to come. And one of the most difficult things, I think, has been for Venus to weather this storm, because Venus is a social planet. And so it's interesting that this final full moon of the year is in such a transformative spot for her, and for how we connect to our creativity, our passions, our hearts. Also, this full moon is happening just a few days after the transit of Mars into Aries. This is a big deal because Mars crossed over the very end of the zodiac, Pisces, over this kind of dangerous kind of cusp area. And now he's in the very first degrees of Aries, where on the full moon he's going to be in Vargotama, which means he is very powerful through all of the divisional charts. He has his strength. Very deep spiritual warrior Mars we have. So also another very good sign that there's a lot of energy behind this full moon that can be amplified into sort of a fierce kind of commitment that comes from just deep within, true to who you are. So using this time wisely, I think, is a really important thing. It was a great opportunity to make setting those New Year's resolutions a very auspicious time to speak your intentions out loud, or even just allow for yourself to feel into things and bring expression. Maybe it's not speaking, maybe it's through some type of artistic expression or writing. The great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn is separating now. The Graha Yuddha now is pretty much officially over, and now we're going to see they're going to start to separate, go their separate ways. And it may take until April before Jupiter transits out of Capricorn, but in the next few months we're going to see a lot of resolution. But like I said, there's a lot of transformation too coming up. So yes, if you'd like to know more about all of that, sign up for my web class. It's coming up on January 3rd. And let's just see what the tarot cards have to say about this full moon in Ardra Nakshatra. Okay, well, so the first card that came up is the 10 of Cups. You know that we also have another cup here, the 6 of Cups. It's a lot of water here about relationships, like I was saying, about connectivity, where we belong. Maybe it's family, community, how we fill our cup, right? How we feel the support around us, and a sense of being, and the sense of being witnessed. You know, Ardra is actually in Gemini, which is an air sign, but it has a story around it, around how Rudra, when he was first born, wailed and howled and cried, because he did not know who he was. He didn't have a name. His sense of where he belonged was not clear. So it's through naming our feelings, right, coming into a sort of understanding and communicating our needs, whether it be with our family or significant other or friendships, or just with ourself, even coming to understand ourselves. That's how we come into a sense of calmness, right? This kind of sense of being held, so that the howling Rudra can stop crying. And very hopeful, the 3 of Wands, coming back into empowerment here. I do think this is a really good sign, that this full moon so close to the new year is showing a sense of creativity and new opportunity coming forth. And the other cups, the 6 of Cups. Reconnecting with friends. Again, this heart-centered connection. Remembering who we are. take a look. Connect to your heart. The true wealth of life is through love. What can you give back to your community, to your family, in this time of so much isolation and sorrow? How could you warm the hearts of others? How can you light your own inner fire? The human heart is so strong. It's deeply hardwired to love. And we come alive with each other. Set an intention to keep in contact, to bring people back in, and to make new friends, despite all the barriers. You are an important and priceless part of the human family on Earth. So, thank you so much for coming to the full moon forecast. And this 2021 forecast coming up will be on January 3rd. Be sure to register, get into that class. And if you like my channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, if you would like to know more about your chart on a personal level, sign up for a one-on-one reading with me. I do offer readings, Vedic astrology readings and tarot readings on Zoom. Take care.